Hello, viewers. As you know already, we are of the open pulpit, and the discussion we are going to have today relate to health issues. But I'd like the professionals to bring this topic to us, starting with Sharon.
Hi, my name is Sheryl Jimmy. I'm a family nurse practitioner and also a mental health nurse practitioner.
Sylvia.
Hello, my name is Sylvia. Um, I am a women's health and family nurse practitioner.
Hmm. Amen. So, what are we discussing today?
Today we're talking about chronic illness and its relation to mental health. So chronic illness is any condition, a medical condition, diagnosed or underdiagnosed within 6 months. So an example would be hypertension, diabetes, cholesterol, stress, anxiety. So those are some of the conditions that can contribute or influence your mental health.
Guess what? When people talk about chronic disease, right? I usually think about serious, heavy duty cancer, all of those terrible things. Is it that simple?
No, so chronic illnesses is any kind of disease and condition that is 6 months long.
Hmm.
So it's just once it's been dealing with that same disease, could be hypertension, just like Sylvia said, it could be diabetes, it could just be heart disease, stress, obesity, arthritis. If it's longer than 6 months, then it becomes a chronic illness.
So, what are the causes of some of these chronic diseases you are mentioning?
That's kind of hard to tell. I mean, an example is hypertension.
Okay.
Family history. Sometimes the environment you live in, not being physically active, high salt intake can also contribute. Sometimes stress can also cause you to have hypertension.
What are the other common chronic diseases that we have that we see regularly?
So most of the chronic illness kind of like go hand in hand. So Sylvia mentioned hypertension. So when you start having hypertension because of all the things around you, you could also have diabetes. So which is also something that is common. It could be family history. It could be something that came from your habit, eating habits, exercise, not doing exercise, high cholesterol. So everything can happen because of another thing. For example, if you have gained a lot of weight, that is called obesity. A lot of people don't think obesity is a chronic illness. It is. If you are constantly overweight for over a long period of time, it becomes a disease because it could potentially begin to cause things like the hypertension, cause things like diabetes. It could cause things like arthritis because then your body is not able to hold on to your bone. The weight of your body is not able to hold your bone, so your bones begin to get weak. So those are the things. Everything kind of work together
Mm.
to bring about the chronic illnesses or one illness.
Well, you mentioned now obesity as part of chronic diseases. Is it possible for a human being to control his or her weight?
I think so. Um, I'm Nigerian, right? And I think the common saying is the bigger you are, the more money you have. But but that's not always true because yes, you have money, but you still have to eat healthy, right? Because you can actually buy death with your own money by overeating, which can lead you to have heart disease and then you can have a stroke. So it's not healthy. I mean, there are regular BMI, so if you're starting to have knee pain, back pain because you're physically overweight, you're doing yourself a disservice.
The bigger you are may not necessarily mean more money, maybe more diseases.
True. Yeah.
That's true.
So, how does one get over that kind of situation?
I mean, it's all about like that you're hearing about it's awareness. You already know. Starts early because the older you get, the worse it gets, and the harder it gets for your metabolism to get rid of all the extra fats. So start today. Monitor your portions, exercise. You don't have this exercise. When people will say exercise, sometimes we always think of running and jumping and all of those, but simple thing is just walking, taking daily walks, 25 to 30 minutes a day. You don't even have to run. And just kind of watch the kind of food you eat. Don't sit at home watching TV all days and snacking on things because you have nothing to do. They call it idle eating. Or when you are stress eating, when you're stressed out, you're eating chocolate and all of those. They can help. You don't necessarily have to think Because sometimes when we think of exercise and getting really fit, we think of six packs and looking really. No, it doesn't have to be that. Just looking healthy for yourself so that your body can breathe is how you can prevent obesity. And you measure yourself. If you see that you're getting overweight, you can, exercise, monitor what you eat, and don't starve yourself.
So where does this idea of six packs come from? I mean, I hear six packs, six packs. Now, when I look at myself in the mirror, I don't see one pack or two.
Um,
Yeah.
I can't relate. I don't have a six pack. At most, I have a two pack. But
You have
I,
something.
yeah, well, I think like people that are physically active, I think that's the norm, or that's the suggested norm that you're supposed to have a six pack. But even somebody with a six pack can have hypertension, can also have diabetes. So it's not necessarily you having a six pack alleviates you from having chronic issues as well. It's good to be physically fit. It's good for your heart health. But I think, and even if you have people that are overweight, they don't necessarily have hypertension or have diabetes, but they might have joint pain because you're putting a lot of weight on your body. And I think we need to kind of tie it in together with regards to your mental health or your well-being, because the society has an idea of the women have a size 8 figure, or now everybody has a bottom that's bigger than a purchase bottom, or you're supposed to be a certain size and the men are supposed to be skinny. I think that's kind of unrealistic. So just having a healthy lifestyle, living healthy, eating healthy, you have a better like quality of life in the long run the older you get. So it's just taking those steps to be mindful of what you're eating. And like Chion said, it's one day at a time. Taking a walk. You don't have to have a gym membership. You can take a walk around your neighborhood, portion control. It helps. Even like it boosts up your endorphins. Just exercising makes you feel better.
Boost up your immunity, right?
Yeah, it does as well.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Let's come nearer home. I do hear this word most of the time, diabetes. Seems to be what that people throw around. What is diabetes a chronic disease?
It is.
How can it be controlled? Or what are the causes of diabetes?
So diabetes is a chronic disease because the moment, in this world, we live in the United States. If you're diagnosed with diabetes, they usually catch it early. So especially if you are up to date on your going to your doctor. But if they catch diabetes in other countries, most of the things it's not in the United States, in Nigeria, it's usually almost late. So that's why it's considered chronic, because before diabetes, according to studies, can actually be diagnosed in you've had it for almost 10 years.
What are the causes of diabetes itself?
Lifestyle. Number one probably could be because you have it in your family, and then you didn't recognize that you have it in your family, so you are not watching your diet, you're not exercising, you're gaining weight, your lipids, which is the cholesterol, is getting high. And so it's destroying, what diabetes does, it begins to destroy your blood vessels, begin to destroy a lot of things. And then, so it's basically lifestyle, food. Those are the things that cause diabetes, a lifestyle, the food. And what it does an irreparable damage to the organs. And it's not just called diabetes. I also make it known that it's a multi-system organ disease.
Wow.
So just so you know.
People do talk sometimes about kidney failure or kidney disease. Is that also chronic disease?
It is, yeah. That usually stems from hypertension. So uncontrolled hypertension. I think a lot of people walk around not knowing that they have hypertension. Or you might have, like, what is high blood pressure? So hypertension and high blood pressure, they are kind of the same thing. It just means that your blood vessels are working harder than they're supposed to. There are two numbers. There's a systolic, the top number, and a bottom number. And then in the US, there are stages. So if your blood pressure is greater than 130, it's systolic, and greater than 90, you're considered to have hypertension. High salt intake, family history.
High salt
intake, yeah. And I think a lot of our foods are high in salt.
So if you shouldn't take too much salt.
Correct.
Now, you shouldn't take too much sugar.
Correct.
You shouldn't take too much salt.
Correct.
Yeah.
Is there anything we can just take and be free of our life and enjoy our life without looking back?
Life is not about vibes and isha.
Wow.
You gotta do.
You can't even drink too much
Moderation.
water.
You can't.
Yeah,
Even
so
drinking water. There
Yes.
is a report about a lady that drank too much water, and actually had hypovolemia, or she actually passed away. So I
Yeah.
think
For
with life,
drinking too much water.
at one time, yeah,
Time.
like in 14 minutes, she drank a lot of, like a certain amount of water. So everything in life has to come with moderation. You can still enjoy life, but in moderation.
In moderation.
Yeah.
How about alcoholism? Where do we place that one?
It is a chronic issue too.
And it could cause diabetes and hypertension too.
Yeah, or your liver cirrhosis,
Yeah.
where your livers get really hard and then you fail, and then you might need liver
Okay.
transplant.
What is the cause of liver in the human body?
What it,
What is responsible? What work does liver do in the human body? Functions of liver.
the function, I think, just like our kidneys, where it helps with processing and removing waste product, the liver also helps with breakdown. Like your bowel, the bowel is part of the liver and the abdominal system, so it helps with breakdown with the foods that we eat, the medications that we take, sometimes prescription medications over the counter, even Tylenol, because a lot of us, we abuse Tylenol, or we get antibiotics over the counter. It's not prescribed. You
Yes,
get
sir.
it because you don't feel good.
My attitude is simple. Whoever abuses Tylenol, Tylenol will abuse you back.
True.
Whatever you abuse you back.
That is true.
Now, somebody told me something at the time, maybe I didn't get it right. He said if an individual goes to the restroom too often to urinate, that may be that the person has a kidney malfunction. Is that true?
Not
Not
necessarily.
always, yeah.
Okay.
Not always. If you drink too much water,
You will definitely. And if you
How
drink,
about,
if you
how
drink
about if
coffee,
you don't drink too much water and yet you find yourself going to
you might have a UTI.
that is, yeah, exactly. UTI, or it could be diabetes. Because
Yeah, you
signs
can
of
have-
signs of
Uh,
diabetes.
UTI is a urinary tract infection, so
Oh, I see,
urine, a
okay.
bladder infection. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there are different factors that might contribute
Yes.
to that.
Signs of diabetes will also be drinking, peeing,
Excessive
peeing.
thirst.
So you'll be
excessive
drinking
hunger.
water, you'll be peeing a lot. So it's part of. So it could be. I mean, those things all come with something. So check it out. If you're seeing some, just check it out.
So where do you place insomnia in the kind of discussion we're having here? People find difficulty in sleeping, you know.
That is a chronic issue.
It is. Yeah, it's also a chronic illness. And then if you tie it back to what we were talking at the beginning, saying the chronic illnesses, the reason why you are having sleepless night is tied to something. There's an underneath. There's something going on underneath that is causing that insomnia. And that is why if you go to your doctor, your doctor might give you something to sleep for a number of times, but after a while they'll ask you to go see a psychiatrist because there's an underlying factor to that insomnia. So everything's still tied to a chronic process.
Sometimes maybe age.
Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah.
thank God for good health.
Yes.
Amen. So, okay. There are people who get into trouble health-wise when they're anxious over certain things.
Right.
How do we get over that situation?
So there's something called fight or flight, which is anxiety. So when you get into a situation, your body either tells you you're trying to fight or you're running away. So being anxious, it's okay. It's a natural body's response. But if your body is in a persistent state of anxiety, you're stressing yourself, you're going to develop some issue. It does affect you in the long run. So I think recognizing that something is happening to you and seeking help is a good way to kind of rectify whatever's going on.
Stress. How does stress come to display? I mean, maybe stress due to work, stress due to family squabbles, stress due to not being financially stable.
Right.
How do this come into chronic disease?
So many of us don't understand stress, especially if you are culturally, if you have a really strong cultural background, we see stress as hard work. But it's not always the story. Stress is when you work your body more than is necessary, and then your body begin to tell on your body that you become sick, you become tired, you're unable to get out of bed, you're fatigued, you're unhappy. That is all signs of stress. Now, the most important thing is recognizing that it's stress. It's not recognizing or interpreting it as, oh, I'm working really hard. You have to recognize that you're overworking your body, and that will get you sick. And really, that will get you depressed because in that persistent state of, I need to get this done, when my body is saying no, you're not only stressing your body physically, you're also giving yourself a mental stress, which all of them can just backfire and give you another kind of chronic illnesses that you will not like.
So, okay, thank you so much. Viewers, I'm sure you are enjoying our discussion and learning a lot as much as I am learning. When you look at chronic diseases, who are the people much more affected, the she or the he?
Everyone.
Yeah.
I think women. It can affect male and female, but I think women primarily um, are affected by stress because we deal with so many different things at one time, trying to multitask.
Yeah, multitasking.
Yeah, and then with guys, they go through stress, but they're able to compartmentalize whatever it is
And they
that
can
they're going
isolate.
through. Yeah.
I know that men are capable of putting into different compartments what their worries are,
Mm-hmm.
and then take it out once
All
on
the
a
time
time
to deal
and
with
deal
it.
with it. But women
Yes.
are not like that.
Yeah.
So, how do you advise women to cope more with stress?
Well, um, there's only one life to live. I think the older you get, and just life experiences teaches you that you can only do so much at one time.
Right.
Seeking help, and you have to kind of speak out. You're not a superwoman, and I think I'm speaking for myself because the older I get, I'm realizing I can't do everything at the same time or at one time. So what I can do today, I will do it. What I can't do today, I'll figure it out tomorrow. And just like a to-do list, and also delegating. Um, if I'm able to outsource maybe house chores, do that so I can also take a break for myself. I think that's important. Remembering that you count and you also matter, right?
Right.
So
Yeah.
prioritizing yourself. You have your family, you have work, but also you're also important in prioritizing yourself. It's a good way to kind of alleviate stress and to live longer and help with just life in general.
Fantastic. Well, viewers, I'm sure there's an experience I want to share with you that you understand. When you board a plane, you want to fly somewhere, they warn you, they say, look, in case of any emergency, oxygen mask, withdraw.
Okay, yourself first.
Take care of yourself first
Right.
before even take care of
Other people,
other
even your
people.
kid. Yeah.
Which means to help other people, you need to be alive yourself. So if you're a mother and a father and you're not paying attention to your health, then you are endangering the health of other people
Right.
that are your dependents. Now, what are the early signs of some of these chronic diseases we are talking about? For example, diabetes, then which other one you mentioned at that time? Hypertension and stress. What are the early signs that warn you to say, look, guy, take it easy?
I think recognition. I know we didn't go into it in detail, but I think a good thing to kind of talk about is like postpartum issues for new moms or because there's a change, right, in your hormones.
Sorry, quick question. What's postpartum?
So postpartum is after delivery, after having a baby, like it can go up to a year. So from 0 to 1 year after having a baby, just the change in your hormones. And sometimes it's something called postpartum blues where you don't feel happy. And the things that normally will excite you does not excite you anymore. But when it persists where you're constantly not just happy, recognizing and then having people around you that recognize that you are acting out of character, you're not acting the same way, is a good way to kind of help you to seek help. And it's nothing to be ashamed about. Even stress. Sometimes when you talk about like I'm trying to prioritize my mental health, people call you the only one with mental health issues. But I think just recognizing that you have issues and there's nothing wrong with it and seeking help. I think that's the first step.
Right.
Yeah, I think before I come to issue, I think women need to take care of themselves more because of the things they go through. For example, a woman just gave birth to a baby by section, and the woman wants to do all this big naming ceremony 8 days after. It gives me worry that, are you sure you are okay? There's nothing that says that you must do a big party for naming ceremony. You could do naming ceremony by bedside
Right.
if you are still not feeling very strong. And then later on, if you don't want to kill the whole cow, we have to eat it, but at least be alive.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, so if you think of it, most of the things that we do as women is culturally oriented. It has a background of, oh, this is how my mom, my parents, and all the people that I know, our ancestors have done it. But what we don't recognize is that times and seasons have changed. And the things that we experience have changed as well. the experience of our moms are different from our own experience. And if you look at it, 2, 3, 4 generations ago, if a woman has a baby, she has a whole village
Of people,
to support
yes.
them.
Yeah.
But in this world, even your moms have life. They want to do their own thing. They have a job, so you don't get as much support as you would think they got doing their own. So, you know, if you have to learn to love yourself. You have to understand that times and seasons are different. In this season, you just had a C-section. You need to prioritize it. Take care of yourself. Take care of your baby because your body has 40 full days. In those 40 days, you are in a very critical state. That's why they ask you to keep coming back for checkup. 40 days of recovery. So 8 days into the naming ceremony, just name your child, and you can do party after. I think it's just understanding for women, understanding it, and understanding that there's no shame in talking about that. You're telling people that you're tired.
Tired,
cannot
yes.
do
I
this.
need your
It's the
me time.
recognition, yeah, that I can't. You know, we always try to be tough. We always try to be that woman who can do it all. But no, I can't. You can't do it, and that's it, and nothing is going to happen. So
Now, can we talk about people that don't have any options,
Please go ahead.
right?
yeah, yeah.
So, I mean, we're talking about having a good support system. What if you don't have that support system and that's the only, it's just you? Because some people,
Right.
they do come and have babies here.
Support yourself.
Mm.
Love yourself.
But it's easier said than done.
Well, I know.
So I think the community you're in also
Find the
helps, but you have
community.
to speak
Yes.
up to get help.
Find a community
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
and speak up. Find a
I
friend.
think
Yeah.
I think this is an area where your church community can
Exactly.
be of help.
Yes.
Yeah.
For example, if you play active role in the
Mhm.
women group and things like that. Now that we are counting that to finish this discussion, I read something in Reader Digest a long time ago. Said those people who pray in the spirit in the language and they do it as a prayer walk,
Okay.
that their chances of living longer is about 5% more than those who don't do that kind of activity.
Oh, wow.
Tell us what effect or what improvement can exercise like that have on the defeat of chronic disease?
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
You're the pastor, so we rely on you for this
I mean-
one.
What,
Well, I think, okay, maybe having a relationship with God.
that's
Um,
important.
Yeah, having a relationship with
But
God.
there's a reason for that.
Yeah.
Having a good relationship with God will keep you off doing excessive things
Exactly.
that,
True.
That
can
That
damage
is true.
puts you in
your
trouble.
health.
Yes.
That is true. So
Yeah,
you're keeping your
else.
mind busy,
Keep your mind busy.
yeah, with the
whatever,
word of
but-
God, which is fruitful.
Yeah, and then keeping away things like malice, unforgiveness, pain, all those things that I call them software diseases.
Mm-hmm.
That you don't
If
see.
you don't want to call it like, if you want to move it away from spiritual, because anything negativity, so like people just kind of bottle up negative attitudes in their body, and this can also lead to
Yeah, a health issue.
hazardous,
Yeah,
reactions in their body. So even if you're not spiritual, just being like be a normal human being, lively, do not harbor hatred, wickedness, negative thoughts in your mind helps.
Their life. The Bible says
You're a
laughter
Christian,
makes
it's
the
even good.
heart go merry.
Yes,
That is true.
correct.
And for you to have a good life,
Mhm.
you must be joyful.
Right.
You must be thankful to God, whatever station you find yourself. Amen. Well, this has been a very interesting discussion. I hope viewers are able to follow us in all these. But the primary message is number one, love yourself.
Right.
And you begin to love yourself by loving God, so that God can give you the wisdom of how to manage your life properly. Amen. Thank you so much, professionals, sisters and daughters. To you out there,